forgot to hit the record button this morning. Whoops. Nothing going on though today. Really. Except this Suave's nice. But yeah, man, 2020 was insane. I ended up finishing 2020 making about 90 grand in profit, and I had pulled a little bit of money, like $4,000 to pay myself that year, just to pay a couple bills and, stay on top of whatever little bills I had at the time. And I remember rolling into 2021 with exactly a 100K account right into 2021. And by June, I got kicked from TD Ameritrade because I got that to 3.3 million day trading. And then they gave me the boot. But again, remember AMC, GameStop, TCAT, DLPN, Mosey, LEDS, sympathy plays were like UONE, UONEK. I mean, day trading was about the easiest thing you could do. And, I was making sympathy plays. Sympathy plays was the easiest way for me to make money. Yeah, I had my mom make an account. I told her, I said, Mom, I need toss still. I said, I hate charting with Trade Zero, or I hate charting with E-Trade. I got so used to charting with Trade Thinkorswim. I was like, Ma, you got to open an account, please. So she's got a little account, and this is who I chart with. So I would have figured out a way, man. Thinkorswim's charting and platform is awesome, in my opinion. The way you can build out scanners and the way you can do everything is really nice. Oh, Lily. Go to 400. Yeah, you know what? You gotta just, I think once you get into the flow of day trading, and you either pick one or the other, and you realize what kind of trading really makes you comfortable and really makes you happy and frees up your time. And, I don't want to sit at my screens all day. Like, I bought no positions yesterday. I bought, well, Suave technically. But, I really did nothing yesterday. I'm doing absolutely nothing today, you know. Um, and that's it. We're focused on sectors. You got to stop focusing on the indices. Who gives a shit what the indices are doing? Oil and gas names are going up. It doesn't matter what the SPY's doing. It matters what, XLE's doing. And there's your oil and gas names, and they all look the damn same. Study what XLE looks like, and then compare that to like DVN or MTDR or any of the others. Oh man, you finished high school 5 months ago? Dude, I am so jealous. If I could go back to your time and learn trading from right now, by the time you get to my age, you're going to have $10 million, dude. Yeah, you're going to have $10 million by the time you get to my age. It's going to be awesome. Fucking Suave. Amazing. I got 400 shares of this thing. Kind of wish I had a bigger position. My position sizing's so whack between something like Suave and something like Lily. I mean, literally 100K position in Suave and $1 million position in Lily. My position sizing's kind of fucked, but whatever. I kind of wish it were the other way around, because this Suave really knows how to move. Whatever. I like Lily as a company. I think this thing can go to 500. It'd be my biggest trade in my career by a mile. Yeah, I really don't see much for me to do. I've already moved up my stops on everything. I think it's just a matter of me being patient now. Literally, just hanging out. I don't even think any of my stops on any of this shit are gonna get hit at all. Unless something unforeseen happens in the market here in the next couple hours, but looks like I'll probably still be in most of these come till tomorrow. Couple little ugly topping tails on the daily on ERX and CVX, but for the most part, I've trimmed some of these already, so there's really not a whole lot left for me to do with them. Just get stopped out is really the last thing I gotta do. Literally nothing for me to do here. And guys, this is actually the very best part about swing trading, and I'm glad a lot of you guys get to watch it. You guys get to watch me do nothing. This is honestly the very best part about swing trading. You get to see what it looks like when you already have a couple of positions working for you and you already got a bunch of your money working for you, and you don't need to day trade. And you just wake up every morning and it's just going higher and higher and higher, like Lily, or like a Suave, or like these DVN gapping up and going higher, like all my oil names. That's a great feeling. I didn't have to come up with a new bright idea to make more money. I came up with DVN last week Wednesday. You come up with an idea 5 days ago, and then 5 days later, it's at the highest point that it's been, and you're still making money on a good idea that you came up with last week. You know, and in the meantime, there's literally nothing else for me to do. Just manage the positions. This is the best kind of trading, in my opinion. It's boring, and I literally just get to call it a day right now if I wanted. It's the best feeling. Just use the 20. Just use the 20. Some of these I'm moving up my stop a little bit preemptively. Um, Not to say that I would stop myself out of these if they came down to this level. I would see how if it bounced off the 10. But you know, there's no reason that on the daily these two wicks shouldn't hold. If it doesn't hold, then I would consider maybe reducing some of the position. I'm just trying to be proactive on not giving back too many gains. Still in this market. Oil and gas isn't necessarily the sector I want to still see, super hot, but it is what it is. Yeah, USO. Yeah, they're all joining the party. Oh, USO's slow. WTI looked better. WTI, the entry was yesterday too. Got my alert. You could have bought it over the previous day's high, 770s. Be up pretty nice too. These have all been such easy setups. I mean, it's crazy. They're handing out free money out here. It's just a matter of sitting patiently after you take your entry. Yeah, they're literally handing out free money. Yesterday was nuts too. Like, man, yesterday had I just grown a sack and bought, 2,000 shares or something, like a $500,000 position in Suave, man, you'd have made 50K in the first hourly candlestick. That's wild. I would have probably sold a bunch of that had I ever pulled the trigger like that, but I don't get that aggressive. Maybe next year. Yeah, CALX free textbook. Yeah, you just gotta wait for the EP. You gotta wait for the earnings, right? And then just like the other one you were mentioning, or shit, even the other day. Remember CAH? I'd been eyeballing this thing for forever. I took my position on this day right here, 10/11, and then got stopped out the very next day. And then all it really did was set up some more. And then you could have bought it on 10/18, and now look at it. So oftentimes it's not that we're not on the right names, it's just that the timing's a little bit off, and that you just can't take it off the radar. You got to be willing to pull the trigger again. Imagine you lose a dollar the first time around on your first trade. The second time around you're risking 60 cents, and now you're up $6. So even after your loss, you're up $5 a share. CUG, not nice today. Yeah, it's just too choppy. There's nothing clean. Except now, if it closes just like this, tomorrow could be a pretty good day over today's highs. Right? Just underneath 90. Basically, a textbook would be another nice little textbook breakout over today's highs. Yep. CEG's actually doing exactly what you'd like to see. It got up right to that pivot. It failed. It's still showing up as resistance. Now it's got a nice, really nice, flat, clean base. And then, if it takes off, good, you're there. Nice. Yeah, I don't know where you have CEG from, but good. I'm glad you're making money. And this is literally why I swing. I bought a DVN at right around the 70-18 mark, and then you know risking 40 cents, and now you're up $7. You guys understand I don't have to be right often when my risk reward ends up being that. Right? You do not have to be right often. As a matter of fact, I'm probably wrong, 50% of the time, maybe more. You guys have seen me take my trades, or where I take them. I'm stopped out on shit all the time. But I keep my losses incredibly small, and then I let my stocks work when I'm in them. I mean, and then you catch really nice moves like this INSW or all the others. No, please. No, Henry, no. We're not going to talk about Hood, brother. We're not talking about Hood. We're not talking about Upstart. We're not talking about AFRM. I'm not talking about DraftKings. I'm not talking about... Until there are legitimate setups, I don't want them, dude. Go ahead and study my STNG entry, and then, and then go ahead and realize how much less stress I'm in than anybody playing Hood. I don't give a shit how cheap Hood looks, nothing. Until it's above moving averages, and there's 1,000 other growth names set up, then I won't even consider it. The money's going to oil and gas, dude, not to Hood. Let's just keep it real. All right, look at DVN. Does this look like money's going to Hood, or is it going to DVN? That's what I thought. Does it look like it's going to Lily, or does it look like it's going to Hood? going to Lily. Don't do that shit to yourself, Henry. Don't worry about Hood, man. You're just tricking yourself, dude. Into they you know all the big players, they want you to be focused on little bullshit like Hood. All right, do yourself a solid. Yo, Cam, you see Lily today?
I sure did. You see fucking. Did you see Med P again today?
Holy shit, dude! It was an EP setup, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I
oh,
just didn't know how to get long in this thing. I
no, I feel you.
like I wasn't gonna buy it at 313 first hourly candlestick to make a high. I mean that shit would have been ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know how I would have bought this, dude. Unless you were down on the smaller time frame and bought 205.
You see FB?
No, but she should be going up for you, dude. Yeah, monster. You still have your 1,000 shares left
1,000 shares left.
from what?
One 139.04.
139.04. You sick mother. Beautiful, dude.
Dude, but I wish I was in Lily with you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I still got it. It's a huge position in Lily. I'm up $42 a share.
That's fucking insane.
I'm 3,200 shares. Oh. Oh, yeah. I'm fucking nuts. Let's see. Yeah, SM looks great, man. It's a little bit of a laggard, right? Because you're like, okay, the setup looks good, right? It looks good, but then you got to say to yourself, like, but man, CVX is already going, from its nice consolidation. ZOM took off from its nice consolidation in here, you know, and they've been going for 5 days. DVN's been going and came out of its consolidation 5 days ago. So then you have to start to ask yourself, like, why is SM not going so far? The reason why it's a laggard. Not to say it can't work, right? Because it definitely can. But my point is that you want to be in the leaders, and SM's a laggard. The only way SM goes on to work is if DVN, CVX, XOM, if they go higher, SM will go higher. If they don't go higher, SM's not doing a damn thing, right? So it's not to say that SM can't work and that it's not a nice setup, because it is. And even over yesterday's highs was nice. I kind of like it a little bit more over this 45.10 mark. But, I hope that makes sense, SM won't work unless these other leaders continue to work. And I believe that DVN looks like it wants fucking, 85. I don't know. DVN looks like it wants more, 85 probably. So, take that for what it's worth. SM could end up working as long as you find a nice, tight, safe entry. But again, you're essentially asking the leaders to continue to work in order for your SM to work, versus you just being in a leader. And like owning ERX essentially makes me not care at all about not owning SM, because ERX is like your energy ETF. So if SM and DVN and Oxy and all these other VLO and PXD, and if they all end up working, then ERX will just continue higher. So, ERX kind of takes away some of that FOMO. Like, man, SM looks good, but I don't own SM. Yeah, but you own ERX, so it's like owning SM. It's like owning all oil and gas names or in the energy space. Oh man, Suave, beautiful. CCRN doing exactly what it should. Yeah, yeah, you shouldn't. The stocks that you own don't care about fang names. That's something I was saying yesterday. Like, oh, whoever's got earnings in after hours. Yeah, yeah. STMD doesn't give a shit about Google's earnings. You know, INSW. It's never even heard about. It's never even heard about Amazon before. Suave doesn't know who Microsoft is. DVN. It doesn't give a shit. The stocks you're in should care about the sector that it's in, not about these other companies. Who gives a shit what Apple's doing? And by the way, like if Apple and Microsoft brought the whole market down, what are your stocks going to do? Just pull back and find support on rising moving averages, most likely. Oh yeah, yeah. You were in CCR with me, weren't you? First time chat. What's up, MVP? Well, I'm glad that it took you a while to understand the concept, but more importantly, I'm glad you understand it. That matters even more. You're not gonna understand. Yeah, you fucked up. Yeah, you shouldn't have gotten out of CCRN. I've been asked like 3 times if I exited CCRN. On this ugly red day on the daily, somebody asked me if I was still in it, like on this ugly red day. And then I've been asked like 4 times if I'm still in CCRN. Yeah, it's choppy, it's whippy. But I sold some on day 2, and it's allowed me to just hold as it surfs this 20. And if it gets too extended from the 10, then I'll sell some more. Thanks, bro. Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't really feel like I'm doing anything. This is what I would be doing if I weren't streaming myself. I would be talking to my buddy on FaceTime while he'd be day trading, and I would be swing trading. And we would just be bullshitting. So I'm happy to help. Or I'm happy to, help you try and understand what the hell's going on out here. With just slowing yourself down. Sometimes the less we do, the more we make. The more we think things through logically, the more we make. Lily. Oh, EMPH came right back. Good for EMPH. Very nice EMPH. Good for it. Hopefully this thing will just go sideways now for a couple weeks. Tighten up, and I'll be right back in.
ATSG, ATSG.
I feel like half the reason that I even stream too is just because I missed watching my mentor so much. Like if any of you guys are familiar with Kulamagi, he's done incredible for himself as a swing trader, and obviously did it in an incredibly hot market too. But his understanding is just awesome of the markets and when to buy, what to buy, how to scan, position sizing, patience. being a good listener to the market. And I missed watching him so much that I felt like if I just tried my best to emulate what it was he was doing, um, I can go back and watch my streams and sometimes even learn something from myself. Like, these streams get uploaded to YouTube and I can go back and watch them every now and again. And when I get stopped out of a position, like, SGML or something, I can go back and study this thing. I had a 2150 entry on this, or $26 entry on this thing, and it's up $11 for my entry, and I'd still be in it, not stopped out. And I'd go back and pull up on 928, pull up that day, and then even 929, and then study my execution, study my setup, study where I bought it, where I could have sold it, what I did wrong, what I did right. So this DXMC looks nice. Huh?
No.
So oil and gas names are acting right, Sean. You seen these?
Oh, that was pretty.
Oh my God.
You're living on. You're not leaving until after earnings.
Yeah, you ain't gotta leave on Oxy until after earnings, dude. Man, they're gonna make a fortune, dude. They're probably gonna do like $5 billion on the quarter. I thought they did like 4.5 billion last quarter or something crazy like that. Lily.
Yo, did you see that video on Twitter? It was like, he's like, my wife watched me trade, and like, it's like this guy driving down this hill in China, but he's whipping the fuck out of this van. And like, everybody in the van, like, oh, please, no. I just see it on Twitter. This guy's like, he's like, my wife watching me trade.
RSPN.
I could not stop dying laughing.
SM just hit my alert too. Yeah, Lily's a monster. And you believe I got a 315 on this thing. 315 average. It's so perfect. I played this. I got super lucky when I first bought this thing, and I was able to like rebuy a dip, and I nailed my entries. And I've been sitting in this thing ever since. Complete driver's seat the entire time since the second I bought it. Yeah, my stop is $18 above my entry, which is amazing. Lily looks even better on the weekly. Realistically, I think this thing can go to 400. At 400, it would it'd be my best trade of my career by a long shot. And we're not far. We're already creeping up there. It's also a much bigger position than some of these others. Like, it's almost like 5x the size of some of these positions. But you know what? I nailed my entry. I caught a lucky gift overnight, and then I stayed aggressive on it. So, HL is also acting well. Finally back over the 200. Nice little character change in the stock. Hopefully $6. How do I get such tight stops? I buy over the previous day's high, man. Like CCRN, I was supposed to really buy at 29.60, but I ended up buying at 30.60. Sold some on the second day, and then my stop was a close of the 20, and I've just been in it the whole time. BSM I bought on 10.4. I sold some at 52-week highs right up here, so like right in here, and then I've just been trailing on the 20. INSW I bought on this day 10.12, stops at low a day, and I'm watching the daily and the hourly as this thing breaks out. I'm watching the hourly as this thing's happening with my stop at low a day. You ask me how I'm getting my tight stops. It's like, I'm buying it in the right spot. And not only that, I'm able to hang on because I'm not getting dumb size aggressive. Like, I'm buying a proper size position when I buy it. And I know my potential loss before I get in. Like AMLX, I bought this right here. First hourly candlestick when it took out these tops, and then my stop at low day, and then I've just been sitting in it ever since. So my stops aren't that. Lily I bought on this day here when it took out its previous day's high. I bought this in this hourly candlestick with my stop at low day. It actually almost got hit. Just missed it by $1. But then it took off. And sometimes you get lucky like this. XOM I bought as it took out these tops. Right as it took out these tops. Just draw a line. And it was funny because I actually got stopped out on XOM this day. It had already put in its low. I bought it as it was taking out this day's high at like 102. And I instantly got stopped out for like a 80-cent loss. And then I just took it again the next day. So, you gotta, I'm only looking at the hourly and the daily. It's like really the only two time frames I trade off of. The only two time frames you need. So people ask how I get tight stops. I don't really know that I've got that tight of stops. You need to be executing right away over the previous day's high. Let me repeat, over the previous day's high, or as it breaks outside of the range, or the first 5-minute candlestick to make a high. You have to figure out what your kind of safe entry looks like. Like my safe entry might not be the one for you, but what do I think of wing? I love lemon pepper flats. Holy shit. Wow. Man. What I think of wing was I should have bought it at 69. That's what I think about wing. Holy shit. Up $100. You fucking kidding me?
SHFS.
Yeah, I mean, wing's not one that I would take now, but had you been prepared, 151 was really the entry. Yeah, is there something you look for on the intraday chart? On the hourly, you mean? Yeah, I look for volume coming in through that pivot. I look for volume coming in through that previous day's high. I look for the price to move away quickly from that buy spot. Like take Suave, for instance. Okay, look at Suave. Look at what happened yesterday as it broke yesterday's high, or 2 days ago's high. So like look at what the stock did as it broke Monday's high, and then compare the volume bar compared to any other hourly volume bar, as it was happening. And so if you take your entry between 282 to 286, call it, right? And then look at where it's got you by the end of that hourly candlestick. That's a breakout right there. It's just a matter of, are you ready for that position? Are you ready to execute it, when it's time to execute it? I was talking to somebody who's in this room, Yuli, and I was talking to her yesterday on Twitter, and she was ready to execute. She bought it right where she was supposed to. What's up, King Lack? ERX. It's wild. I'm up almost $10 a share on this thing. I wish I'd have put more money to work in ERX for real. I kind of fucked that up. You know, truthfully, a nice, you know, I don't know. I grabbed the right amount of size, actually. I don't think I would have gotten more aggressive than what I took. CCRN. Very nice. $35.60. Yeah, I'm just starting to tighten things up on some names that have gone up quite a bit. Like AMLX, I haven't trimmed anything since the day I bought it. So, you know, same with WWE. So I'm being a little bit tighter on those. Like STNG and INSW, I trimmed on the 4th day. So I trimmed some on this day here. But the rest, I'm gonna start to tighten things up a little bit. Like Lily, I'm gonna leave alone completely. You know, Lily, I'd like to be in this thing for a full year if I could be. You know, maybe this thing will go to 600 for me in a year. Nice little $300 winner. Be cool. XOM. CVX. Yeah. I mean, honestly, there's nothing here for me to do. There's nothing here for me to do. Relax and watch my positions. Turn on my favorite Netflix show. Hang out with my dogs. Clean my apartment. That's what there's to do. But definitely not trade any stocks. Just let our things work. That's all we gotta do. We don't gotta do a damn thing. As a matter of fact, for now, be nice to know if this thing comes back down. It shouldn't be breaking back below this level, in my opinion. If it does, we'll have to make some decisions. I don't really like my stop being $25 below my average, honestly. It seems a little ridiculous. We'll tighten up a little bit. Much better, $15 instead. This thing here. Same with this one. I'm gonna make sure that these are all nice bright green trades. Use that hourly low pivot. And just slowly inch up my stop. Because there's really not a whole lot to do. So unless you guys got some good ideas or a bunch of questions, fucking toast too, man. Just underneath the 200. I fucked this trade up so bad. I owned it on this day in like the high 18s, and then I watched it go to 22s, and I didn't sell anything, and then of course I stopped myself out on this red day here. Fuck, man. And then sure enough, never really went anywhere. Yeah, I pulled back, built out a new little base. I wouldn't have been in it because it would have stopped me out, but I love toast, and it might be setting up. It might be setting up. DVN, beautiful. Yeah, SM. It just needs the others. So SM's good. It was good over yesterday's high. It's even good over the $45 mark, like I was thinking, where my alert triggered. I got an alert at 45.13. I thought, that right over these little tops here, over this top, the most recent, those little tops looked good. But again, what are you looking for? You only got 60-cent risk on something like this, so that's nice. But again, you need DVN to keep going. You need ERX to keep going. You need, CVX to keep going. Without them continuing higher, SM's not going to work. And, when I look at something like SM and then I'm like looking at something like CVX, I say to myself, what's most likely to occur in CVX tomorrow, right? And after a day like today, I would sit there and say to myself, you know what? I think this thing should start to pull back a little bit and then consolidate for a few more days. Put in some higher lows, probably a red day tomorrow, probably even a red day on Friday. Start to just go sideways and tighten up. Right? So if that's what you believe, and again, I wouldn't be a buyer of CVX up here or DVN up here. Right? I would think that, hey, you know what? There's a chance that these things just kind of pull back. Now, could they keep going tomorrow? For sure. It can go right to 52 or, 52 week highs, could be at $80 tomorrow. But, that's why I would pass on SM personally. Because you need the others to continue to work. And, when you look at the others, like you look at ERX and you'd say, well, what's the most likely course here? What happens most likely with ERX? And I would say, hey, you know what? ERX probably pulls back and starts to retest this 10 on the daily. Does it have to? Will it? Probably not. And no, it'll probably just keep going. But again, it's like, what are the odds of it pulling back? I'd say probably higher than the odds of it just continuing higher tomorrow. And again, that doesn't mean that it won't work. There's probably a 20 or 30 or a 40% chance it goes higher and a 60% chance it pulls back in to start to consolidate. If it's a 50-50 kind of a proposition thing, and I'm like, okay, well, DVN's got to pull in and consolidate. Well, if that's how you really feel, then then buying SM might not be the best and wisest idea because it's lagging, right? And if the others pull back, you better believe SM will do the same. So, uranium, nice. Yeah, oil names are kind of going crazy, aren't they? I might trim like another 20% of my position in CVX and trim like another 20% of the remainder in DVN, ERX. I might. I haven't sold any ERX. I'm up almost $10 a share,
LSF.
which is nice. But yeah, crude, CL. CL looks good.
Set.
Suave, my goodness. Yeah, these names are looking awesome. ESCELH. I'm drinking one right now, so I'd like to support their company. Yeah, CELH looks great. It's all about the setup. How do I know that the stock will have follow through? Well, what did this red day do? What has every day done? Look at these. Look at what are these wicks on the downside, meaning that there's buyers stepping up every time it comes down. And this last wick, this red one, just so happened to hold the 50 perfectly. So really, my own thought is, okay, well, if it starts to take out that previous day's high,
Sent.
you get in, your stop's at low day. You're really risking. Like when I got in, I was risking like $6 a share. But I had 300. I bought 300 extra shares. Like I'm risking 1,800 bucks. I don't give a shit, right? So like you have to determine what that position sizing is for you to not give a shit, right? If it's 30 shares, okay. So you're risking. You know what I'm saying? You're risking what you're risking. 180 bucks, right? But now all of a sudden, you're up $25 a share on your 30 bucks or on your 30 shares. Now all of a sudden, you're up whatever 250 or 300 bucks or whatever the hell you're up more. 500 bucks. I don't even know. What would you be up if you got like 286.25? You'd be up like what is that? 750 when you're risking 180. It's a great risk reward. That's not that's how I determine if it's a I just look for tight and in the right sector, and more importantly the fundamentals. Why would I even be watching Swab to begin with? Why is Swab holding up this well? Their fundamentals are awesome, and if you guys understand those, that's the reason to buy something. It's the fundamentals. But yeah, these oil and gas names are really booming today.
G.
And like I said, I'll probably be smart in making sure that I trim a little bit into the strength. So I won't get. I'm going to be watching CVX on a smaller time frame here on another one of my charts, and as soon as it starts to kind of top out, um, I'll trim a little bit into everything.
CRTD.
Oh, that was Caruso's power pick. Yeah, well,
CRTD.
Caruso's got his shit together. He definitely knows what he's doing. I like Matt. I like reading his insights at the end of all the trading days. I got tons of respect for anybody who's been surviving in these markets. Honestly, but yeah, I will. I'll end up. Man, like DVN. Now the 20's above my average. That's awesome.
CRTD.
I will end up locking up a little bit more on all of these. Not Suave, but all my oil gas names. ERX, Oxy, DVN, CVX. I'll end up locking up another 20% of the remaining shares that I've got.
CRTD.
Like on ERX, I have 3,000 shares. So, just sell 500. Like, that's all I'll do. Sell 500 shares, lock up $10 a share. It's a great trade, and still leave 2,500 shares to work. ENVX looked like shit. Let me see. Yeah. These need time. It needs time. Okay, let me go. Now I can feel a little bit better here. I'll feel much better now. I just went through and chopped myself out of 20% of the remainder of all my oil and gas names. Just sold another little 20%. Just I had 1,000 shares of CVX left. I'd already trimmed 500. Now I got 800 left. So I had 1,500 to begin with. And I trimmed 500 on the second day, and then as it was putting in this topping tail, and then I just got done trimming 200 more. I did the same thing with DVN. I didn't really like how it was acting on day 2. Cut myself out of a little bit, and then I just cut a little bit more today. And that's it. I probably got about 40% or just under of the remaining shares on all of these when I originally bought. And these will all just, I'll stay perfectly patient with all of them. Lock up little bits of gains on the way up, and then just sit patiently with the rest. Really nothing else to do here. My day's done. Honestly, my day is done. And I haven't had to buy anything in a couple days, really, other than Suave. It's been a pretty good feeling when the names that you've picked have been working well for days or weeks or sometimes even a month. Like this Lily, boy. I feel like a real stud for that one. Yeah, I'm gonna feel a whole lot better knowing that I've trimmed a little bit on all these oil and gas names. These moves have been really nice. You know, almost a 10% move in CVX. You know, 15% move in ERX. That's awesome. 6% move in Oxy. 10% move in DVN. Some was kind of slow. 5%. Not bad. Yeah, not bad. Honestly. Yeah, Caruso had Wolf. I think he actually did have Wolf, now that you're saying it. He did pick Wolf. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he picked. Fact is, he knows how to manage risk. He's a solid dude. Caruso's going to be around for forever because he knows what the hell he's doing. You know, just like you guys are going to be around for forever because you guys know what you're doing. That's the beauty of this whole thing. You guys have already learned. It's just a matter of, do you have patience with yourself, and, you know, are you taking proper position sizing? Yeah, Peo was setting up. I didn't think it was a setup yet. I mean, if you bought it yesterday over the previous day's high, you nailed that entry. If you grab 730s, congrats, honestly. If you took it first hourly candlestick as it broke out over Monday's high, you absolutely creamed it. Nothing wrong with that setup, in my opinion. It wasn't perfect, more like a dip buy setup, but you know, nice job. Honestly, very nice job.
FNHC.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that entry. A little thin for me personally. I traded 3 million shares actually. I would have had to have grabbed quite a bit though, like 20,000 shares on that opening print. That would have been a little too much. Yeah, I would have been like, you know, a fifth of this candlestick. I don't like being a fifth of candlesticks.
Duo. Space. Duo.
But you know what? It wasn't bad. Nice snag. Ooh, wait, don't tell me my trims on XOM were perfect. Yeah, we'll see. Otherwise, guys, I'm happy to hang out with you guys for a little bit longer and answer a few questions if you feel like you have any. If not, you know, then my day is done. That's it. Nothing more to do here today. Come back in an hour and see where things stand. Eat some breakfast. AMLX, just keep on going, baby. Do I have toss scripts? Um, yeah, I do. I don't know what kind of scans you're looking for. Um, there are some scans I don't send out because, you know, that's on you to do some homework and learn how to make them. Plus, it's like, you know, my edge. But I've got a couple. I got a scanner too. I would send you. But you just have to reach out on Discord. If for anybody who feels like they want them or uses Toss and you need some scans, you just got to reach out and I'll send them to you. I don't really give a shit. I won't give away everything, but there are some scans. This Crocs is looking better and better. Discord is I'm on Goblin Gang Discord. Hold on, let me I'm in a couple Discords.
No.
Here you go. I just posted it for you guys. great Discord. You guys can join here, and then you guys can add me on Discord. Real simple Ariel as well.
Duo. 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 CRTD.
EMPH, nice push. Really nice push if you'd have taken that opening range break. 287. Interesting. I just couldn't do it. WTI, very nice, man. Yep, yep. I see you. See you, Mateo.
Ariel,
Yo,
have you seen NBR?
no. DVN. Booming. Let me,
CRTD. CRTD.
here, this one helps me a bunch. That's one. This is another good one.
CRTD.
Yep, I got you, bro. Chris, I seen you too, man. I'm sending these out now. If you guys find me on Discord, I'm sending these out right now.
CRTD.
I use both of these. Go through these every single day. It's how I help locate the names that I want to own or trade or whatever.
CRTG.
You said MDP.
NBR.
CRTG.
I actually can't find the ticker. MNBR.
N.
N. Holy shit. Yeah, it's on my it's on my Gap scanner.
CRTG. CRTG.
You know, the only real problem is how thin it is.
I know.
Holy shit, man, on these earnings too. Wow. Holy crap. Wow, what a fucking move. Swap 52-week highs. Yeah, beautiful. Hell yeah. Oh, dude, I love hearing that you've been less stressed. I really do. It's all that matters, man. Stress free and green. Yeah, I appreciate that, Jacob. Honestly, when you look at the hourly and the daily candlesticks, you know, getting a read on the market is way easier. Way easier. Suave. Suave is woo. Too bad I only have 400 shares. Woo. But whatever. I'm up like $40 a share, so that's great.
GTTNQ.
Yeah, my oil and gas names are absolutely rocking as well too. Absolutely rocking. Yeah, okay, so WTI had a couple of tight entries, really. You know, again, you could have bought it over any of the previous days high. I really liked how tight of a day 1021 was. The real entry, in my opinion, which I know somebody in this room got, Louis, was 755, 756. Here's your super tight day. This is a super tight range day. This whole day. Nice and tight. You know, this day. And then you're buying it as it's breaking out, and then that's your stop at low day. So you're risking about 25 cents a share on a $7 stock, and that's your real entry. You could have bought it the very next day too, over that day's high, 770. You could have even bought it over this pivot, 780. Most of it has to do with what sector is in, what's its overall trend. The trend is up. It's in a sector that's going higher, and then you got to look for a tight setup. And again, my tight entries are always above previous days highs. You know, always above previous days highs. The better entry was, you know, on Monday, in my opinion. But Tuesday would have worked just as fine. You could have bought it at 770. You could have bought it at 785. You know, the fact is that you understood what sector it is in and where money's going. Money has been going to the oil and gas sector. I think that's even more important than how absolutely perfect of a, you know, tight entry it was. But it did give you one. If you go back and study this chart, you know, tennis ball action, pulled back, found support on the rising 20, pulled back, found support on the rising 20, pushed back up, created a little pivot, pulled back, found support now on the rising 10. Super tight day. Clearly there's buyers off of the 10. That's why this wick happened. very tight day. Now you're looking to buy it over that day's high, and there you go. You'd have been looking to buy it on that day right there. And really nothing magical about that entry. I swear to you, it's really nothing magical. The fact is you're risking 30 cents, and you have to ask yourself, how much am I willing to lose here? If you're gonna buy if I was gonna buy a 10% portfolio position, well, okay, I'm buying, call it 25,000 shares. So if I'm risking 30 cents on 25,000 shares, it's like, all right, you're gonna lose 7 grand if you're wrong. So all right, size down a little bit, right? And so maybe I take 18,000 shares or 15,000 shares. Now all of a sudden it's like, okay, $4,500 if you're wrong. Okay, much better. But now you're up 80 cents a share, or 70 cents a share on your 15,000 shares, and you're up 2 to 1, 3 to 1 on your risk reward. And today is day what? What do I normally look for? I've talked about this on stream. 3 to 5 day momentum bursts, right? So if today's day 3, I'm maybe locking up 20% of my position into this push. If I had 15,000 shares, I'm selling 3,000 today, and I'm locking up 2 grand, and I'm moving up my stop to break even, at the very least, and not even break even anymore. Now it's just on the 10, right? I'm just using the 10, and then if this thing starts to close a little bit weaker, and closes like below this 805, below this like hourly candlestick, maybe I'd take another 20% off, and it's like now you got 6 of your 15,000 shares gone, and you've locked up a little bit, you've locked up 4 grand or something like that, and then your stop is still, on the, because let's just say you really did nail your entry down here. If you nailed your entry, and it starts to close a little bit weaker, you trim another little piece, now you're at 40%, you got 60% of the position remaining, and it's still going to be a green trade no matter what. And you didn't micromanage it, you locked up some gains, you got the 3 days of push, and that's it. 3 to 5. 3 to 5 days is what I really care about, right? Super strong stocks, they'll move the most within that 3 to 5 days in terms of percentage move, right? Like you'll get the biggest percent move. Like, okay, so think about INSW. I trimmed some on day 4, like into this push perfectly. I trimmed into this first hourly candlestick on day 4, right? In the 48s, and where are we? 7 days later, we're still in the 48s, damn near where I trimmed. So nothing else about the trade has bothered me. None of the ebbs and flows. So, but WTI's in what sector? Oil and gas. What have ZOM? What have CVX? What has DVN been doing? When it took off. If you bought WTI on the right day, if you looked at DVN was pushing higher on that day. CVX was pushing higher that day. And so it's just like in the back of your mind, you should be like, man, money's still going to this oil and gas sector. Like, let me just buy it. Everybody who's reached out on Discord, I'm sending out those scans for you guys, and thanks for the kind words, a bunch of you guys. Appreciate it. Happy to help, man. Happy to help. Like I said, I literally do nothing magical here, guys. I do nothing magical. These setups are the same shit over and over and over. You're welcome. I don't spend much of my time anymore on any discords. Honestly, I've been yeah. Don't sell shit, man. Just trail on a moving average. So much easier. Like 3 to 5 day momentum burst. Trim a piece and start to slowly move your stop. That's it. I mean, everything else is out of your control. Again, watching me execute, I think, will help you guys a little bit down the road. You know, as you guys continue to watch and you guys see how I do it and explain it a little bit more and more and more, you know, and when the market's right, I mean, guys, I'm in a shit ton of names here. I'm in 14 names right now. 14. You know, basically fully invested. Yeah, you're setting your stop too high. Your stop should always be at low of day or the low pivot. Do I experience wash sales? Yeah, I don't worry about any of that, man. You're supposed to have a CPA. You know, focus on your trading and making money, and let your CPA worry about all that rest of that shit. And you don't worry about wash sale rules. If you trade, you should you know, mark to market. That's what you need to file, a mark to market. Oh, Sky, why? You used to look at things that were going down and were looking for the best deal versus focusing on things that were going up, and then people think, oh, that's gone too high. Is that what was happening to you? That tends to happen to a lot of people. Oxy, man, Oxy. Let's go, Uncle Warren. I know people's biggest problem is they watch so much Jim Cramer and they hear Jim Cramer say, "Oh, this has come down to attractive levels." The fuck does that mean? The fuck does attractive levels mean? Ah, Prayag, what's up, brother? Yeah, that's big. That's people's biggest problem. They listen to Jim Cramer. Oh, the stock has come down to attractive levels. Yeah, he said that. He said Peloton was attractive at 100. Yeah, you're at $8 now. It'll take you 7 lifetimes to watch Peloton ever. We'll have to. The world will have to shut down again. Oh man. Yeah, yeah, it's funny. I like I don't follow him, but I see a bunch of his like a bunch of people that I follow him. So whenever somebody likes his stuff, I always get inverse Kramer some funnies. Yeah, they you know, the motto has always been buy low, sell high, right? And I feel like people have heard that phrase so long um, that they literally live by that. You know, so they think that that's the way of investing. That you guys know, oh, this is a deal down here. Like, you guys know what a fucking deal looks like? Like, come on. If it's not going up, it's because the big boys aren't buying it. If it's going down, you know, you're basically just guessing that the big boys are done letting it go. You know, imagine everybody who thought Facebook was a great company and was like, you know, down here at 300, we were like, oh man, this thing's down, you know, however much from highs at this point, 25%. And you started to buy these dips. If you did that, or if you thought it was cheap at 180, you know, you're still down another 30% on your money. Like, you know, I can't do it. Like, I expect when I buy something for it to start going up right away. Otherwise, is my timing correct? Am I really buying the right things? But to each their own, right? To each their own. You know, I can't tell people what to do. I just know that a lot of people's investment tactics don't work. That's what I know for a fact. People's investment tactics suck. But again, that's not their own fault. It's just like what you've been taught. It's what you've learned. It's what you've seen others do. It's what, Jim Cramer says. It's what you've heard in every movie: buy low, sell high. It's like, no, you buy high and you sell higher. That's how you buy. You buy it high and you sell it higher. But yeah, I feel much better. I unloaded 20% of my positions across the board on these oil gas names. Really nice moves. These are like day 6 moves now. So, gonna trim a little bit. I trimmed some into this weakness, unfortunately, a few days back. And hindsight 2020, but yeah, like I trimmed like ERX like fucking $6 ago. Like, portions of all of these basically, but they're all acting super super well, and the rest I'll just hold. And most likely, my stops won't be on these tens either. Now that I just trimmed, we'll just keep an eye on everything. I don't need anything to come back too heavy on me. Happy to let things work, but these move from these lows is starting to get a little bit extended.
GNER. GNER.
Oh man, suave. Now we're talking. Crazy. $35 move in 2 days for my entry yesterday. Move the stop up, man. BSM. Oxy. Yeah, these oil and gas names are acting amazing. But you know what? We did a great job. We were literally on them the exact day we needed to be. We've been in the right places for the last couple of weeks, which is really nice to see. And we're being rewarded for it, for being good listeners. And that's what we love to see. Man, I hope I caught this HL at the right time. If the dollar keeps coming down, I believe gold and silver should go up. And if this thing will just go to 6, it would be a great trade. I got a really chunky position in this HL. So it's my second largest position, which is weird, right? Like this small cap is my second largest position next to Lily. Uh, Actually, I take that back. It's close. Well, technically now it is. Now that I've trimmed DVN, DVN was my second largest position at the time. Just before I just trimmed some, I had 6,500 shares, so, but we've officially trimmed. HL's now my second largest next to Lily's an insane position. And what's crazy is the market's doing this after Apple and Microsoft and Google, after this gap down. These they carry so much weight. I'm surprised the indices didn't they didn't budge at all.
SLGT.
I mean, they're even going higher, which is super surprising. Yeah, Rhythm. I thought Rhythm looked pretty good yesterday. I didn't touch it, but yeah, Rhythm would have been good yesterday. A little choppy, but if your entry was 24, 24 15s or something like that, that'd have been pretty good. 24 15s with about a 60-cent stop. My entry would have been over this little wick and this little wick, and basically this entire day too. So, a clear area of resistance breaks out on increasing volume. You can see this candlestick had increasing volume, stops at low day, never got hit. You'd still be in. A little choppy, but, you know, Rhythm's been a leader in the space, in the pharmaceutical space. But yeah, was a nice entry. But I've got no desire to open up anything new right now. None. I don't see anything perfect. Usually the things that are perfect will hit me right in the face, and I don't see anything that is just you gotta own or anything like that. These banking names, Bank of America, JP Morgan, they're acting really well. Or better, should I say, ConocoPhillips, man, good for you. Johnson and Johnson. Merrick keeps making new highs. Damn. FCX2 copper name. Finally getting its act together as well. I like FCX as a company, so we'll keep an eye on them for them to finish setting up here over the next couple of week or so, 10 days. FCX will be on a big watch. LMT, wow, what a move, man. From earnings. Big move from earnings. Very nice. Goldman Sachs, yeah, these banking names, Amgen. Hess Corporation, new highs. Wow. Oil and gas, if it wasn't already obvious before. But there's nothing left. I'm not, like I said, I own ERX, and that kind of removes all the FOMO of feeling like, I'm missing out on names like VLO and Hess and Dino, and like, that's okay. If those keep going, so will ERX. The beauty about ERX is I'm not individually worried about like one company. A company could drop an offering and you're fucked, but ERX won't do that. WWE. Love it. There's nothing left for me to do, guys. I think I'm going to call it here. About 2 hours today. There's really nothing left to do. Let this shit work. Suave's acting amazing. I moved up my stop as well. So the rest will be bright green. Stem back at it. Stem shook me out. I had it like on this day here. And Stem eventually shook me out. But yeah, if anybody else feels like they need the scan or anything, you guys could feel free to. Yep, I see a couple more messages came in. I'll get those out to you guys, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. If anybody else needs it, I scroll up. I put the Discord link in the room. Feel free to hop in that Discord. Great Discord. Some incredible day traders in there. But I don't spend too much time in there. But if you guys want to communicate and ask for those scanners, I'm happy to send over a couple of them. Two of them that I use frequently. So it's how I come up with a bunch of my ideas right from those scans. So anyway, that'll be it for me, guys. Great work this past couple weeks. If anybody's sitting in some positions, amazing job. Continue to be patient. Move up your stops. Don't overtrade. Don't give back gains. Trading some bullshit. And we will see. Oh, baby, CVX. And we will see you guys all. And we'll see you guys all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day.